Recently, I encountered the term intolerance of uncertainty. Various research has been conducted on this topic, but Dr. Danielle A. Einstein and her colleagues' work caught my attention. This research was done in Australia with secondary students. The students were taught to be more aware of their feelings and emotions their feelings and behaviors when they face uncertainty. The results suggest there is a direct relationship between social media usage and their level of intolerance. Since I am an active social media user, I started reflecting on my tolerance of uncertainty. I noticed it has become harder for me to face the unknown. It takes me much longer to make new friends. It takes longer to adjust to a new environment or take actions for change. In fact, I nearly canceled my TEDx speech because of how I felt about the uncertainty of standing on the stage and sharing my ideas. And for this very reason, I must stand here on this stage as a reminder to myself and my audience that uncertainty should not be seen as an obstacle for us to overcome. It is a skill that we can practice and progress over time. And looking back at my own experiences reassured me why that is. Here is my cousins, my sister, and myself in a picture on the left. And I'm sure you can guess who's this one on the right. My cousin and I, we were pretending to be teachers to our younger sisters. We used dining chairs as classroom desks and stool as the classroom chairs. Knowing that I am a teacher at SIS, you might be thinking, wow, she already had her life figured out that early? The truth is, no. I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up. As Steve Jobs said in his 2005 Stanford commencement speech, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. It took me all of my 20s to truly understand what Steve Jobs meant by looking backwards. At age 15, I was not very happy with my weekly allowance, so I started working for my uncle at the wholesale market in Taipei. This began my journey of embracing uncertainty as the youngest salesperson on the team. At age 16, I moved to a new country, the United States, where I didn't speak the language nor understand the culture. The most difficult uncertainty for me to embrace was this daily question: what's up? The first time I was asked this question, I literally looked up. It took me a year to finally realize that what's up is just another way to ask, how are you? At age 21, I was forced to move back to Taiwan in the middle of my US bachelor's degree. Completing the degree and getting a job after graduation in the United States was my ultimate goal. When that path was no longer possible, I was completely lost. Honestly, I got sick and depressed. However, this sudden change forced me to discover a new path in Taiwan. I researched and found a way to complete my bachelor's in 2 instead of 4. I made lifelong friends who were studying in Taiwan as international exchange students. I connected an earlier dot. I became an online marketer. I fell in love with the job. I went to classes at 8 a.m. and headed straight to work from 6 to 9 p.m. I became an expert at selling products online. At age 24, I moved on to a new role as a special assistant to the CEO of an international sports shoe manufacturing company. I work with professionals from Germany, Japan, the United States. I was proposing and pushing projects among different groups of people. The earlier dots connected here again. My marketing skill and growing relationships with people from different backgrounds supported me in this role. At age 26, I started my podcast, Girl Power Talks, 努力新生 in Taiwan. I worked so hard. This show became a small media company. I had a team of 5 amazing young women work with me. The show collaborated with Citibank and an e-commerce giant, PC Home, for their International Women's Day campaigns of 2020, which is 5 years ago as of today. Happy International Women's Day. The earlier dots connected here as well. My sales, marketing, intercultural communication, project management, these all set the foundation for this stage of my life. And lastly, since age 28, I have been embracing the uncertainty of transitioning from business to education. This shift happened because I wanted more balance in my life, and I want to spend more quality time with the important people in my life. So I sold my podcast. And I started working part-time at an international school. I worked on my master's in education. And now working as an IB PYP teacher at SIS, I can see how the dots are connected again. All my past experiences, despite not directly related to education, it is the foundation of how I plan the lessons, teach the students, communicate with parents, and collaborate with colleagues from all over the world. Did I map out this path when I was graduating from high school, college? No. Do I know where I will be in 5 years? I don't know for certain. There you go. I don't know for certain which way I will go, but what I do know is when we press play in life, there is no definite answer. I will keep practicing my skill of embracing uncertainty and reminding myself of Steve Jobs' second half of the quote. You have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. Thank you.